Yeah. But nothing else changed. After that
I'm not around.
Sorry. Thank you.
Waiting forever for a table.
All right. Oh, yeah. No, that was very helpful. I'm glad everybody stuck it out with the weather.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's important. So,
Don't even know where it's at. Don't even know what's going on. Yeah. No, haven't been there. Yeah. That's crazy. The weather back there is always on top of that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's just been cooking. It's wild. It's wild. I'll have the dishwasher do the same thing because it wants to suck up the water. So he'll come in here and start searching if we need to put him back on the side. And then food, no, I told him to. Oh no, he wasn't explaining crap. That part's true. But yeah. 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 But then everything else he did. Yeah. Yeah. It's
what's that?
Are you gonna mention citizens?
Yes.
You moved it?
Oh, yeah. Kick me if I don't. Okay. Do we have anybody on Zoom?
Is it downtown cold? Let me
Eric, are you ready?
Okay.
Call me in order. Shelley, roll call, please.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, thank you. District 1, Councilman Rios.
Present.
District 2, Councilman Pastor.
Present.
District 3, Councilman Leatham.
Present.
District 4, Vice Mayor Stapleton.
Here.
District 5, Councilman Gonzalez.
Here.
District 6, Councilman Shipley.
Here.
Mayor Damaris.
Here.
Here.
We have a quorum, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Shelley.
Shelley. Please join me in prayer.
And
Thank you, Lord, that we can gather here tonight to. That's only if I'm doing to a special So we can be gathered here tonight to do the city's business. Thank you for everyone that took the time and effort to show up in this kind of rough weather and cold weather to help us to make the best decisions possible. Thank you for everybody that dedicates their time and energy to making our community a better place to live and help us make the best decisions possible. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Start with events and Mariano will start down there. Just a heads up to the public, all the snow and rain that's happened this weekend, the potential flash flooding exists, so I encourage you to be very careful in the channels in the region. There's danger out there, and maybe there's more of it. Be careful out there. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. I have nothing. Thank you, Mayor. Just a quick note, reminder, the City of Louisville Police Department will be sponsoring the Easter egg hunt this year.
It'll be this Friday, March 29th, right here at City Hall, Memphis Park, beginning at 5 p.m. and ending at 7:30 p.m. The egg hunt itself will be at 6:10. So make sure all the kids get ready around 6 o'clock. For 6:10 would be the hunt. There'll be food trucks, obviously the egg hunt, and Easter bunny, and some music. So one final note: please bring your own basket. So if you all can make it, I'm sure it will be a very nice, pleasant event. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to mention, I noticed going by Hill Street School here at the Slate, the addition, they've already started stuff going on it. It's pretty sharp. It's kind of exciting, some of the stuff that's going on. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to remind everybody of the Globe Downtown Association is putting on the 16th annual Easter Parade downtown stroll Saturday, March 30th, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And we meet at the train station, Kirk Marius. And she wants you to take cats, finery, and fun. That's all I have. Thank you.
Mike.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have a few things. We had our first bed tax meeting last week. Not everybody's present, but we had our group here, and then some other recipients. We had a 2-hour meeting last Thursday. Actually, it turned out really well. So it's going to be a process. Needless to say that things went very well. So I was really pleased to say that. And it was a pleasure to meet with everybody that participated. So I want to shout out everyone. Secondly, I attended the annual Police Department Awards Banquet on last Friday, I believe it was. And I just wanted to give a shout out to all the police officers. AJ was there, and all the other officers. Justin actually walked out with all the awards, I believe. So thank you for inviting me to attend that. And, just to congratulate all the police officers so we can pass that along. I'd appreciate it.
And it was on Wednesday.
Wednesday. And then just a personal shout out to Jody. I had a water issue over at the restaurant. My bill went up $200. And no clue. I didn't pay attention to the notes. Why is it so high? And I remember I could hear the toilet or some water running in the building next to me through the walls. And so I called my landlord and said, hey, you got a problem over there. Sure enough, my water bill went back down to $140 I was supposed to be. So thank you. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
The only thing I have is a reminder, first Friday is April 5th. So it'll be a week from Friday. Again, the event started at 3 o'clock. 4 o'clock. So that'll be April 5th.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, first I want to thank all the council members who braved the weather and the lightning to come out to the bridge at 3 o'clock today and walk the bridge site. I appreciate it was mud and rain and all kinds of weather, but it's an important project, so thank you all for making out and Public Works for setting that up. And then the other thing is we are going to be moving the Citizens Academy dates forward. We got a late start in announcing it. Didn't get a lot of feedback. We didn't want to run a smaller class, so we're going to postpone that to a new start date of September 4th to October 16th. And the people who signed up initially will be looped over into that. Anybody else wants to sign up will be taking names starting now, so we should be able to get, we'd like to get 15, 20 people in there and make it a good class, because a lot of the feedback comes from the people who are in the class too. So just wanted to, we'll be making that formal after this announcement. So, Mr. Mayor, members of council, that's all I have.
We have a first meeting called the public. A reminder, this is a time when any citizen
or individual wishing to address the council can address it from the podium there. It is limited to 3 minutes. As council, we are not allowed to respond to you at this point, but we could give you direction to staff. So I have no cards up here. Do you have anybody online?
Well, let me. Nope, I don't see anything online. Okay. Nothing.
So we'll go to special presentation. The first one, 3A, is introduction of Travis Ashbaugh, Public Works Assistant Planning Director.
Travis, come on up. So just wanted to, Mr. Mayor, members of council, wanted to introduce you to Travis Ashbaugh, who's our new Public Works Assistant Planning Director. You may know him from his long days at CAG. He's done a lot with Pinellas, Gila County, with CAG, doing all of the multiple studies and 208s and just all this very, technical tracking down projects and things like that. And what our project site was trying to figure out who can replace Jerry from doing all that work at CAG and working with Travis. I'm like, what's it Travis replace Jerry? And so no, Travis is not an engineer. He's not everything that Jerry is, but that portion of Jerry's coverage. So we're bringing him in. Travis comes out of Cincinnati, right? That would be Tiger Country? No, Bengal Country. Bengal Country. But we have tigers here. Yeah, stripes all the way. Yeah, so we have our local connection. Degree in urban planning from ASU. And we love him some too, but in this case it's ASU. And Travis started at CAG, went to Pinell County for a while, back at CAG, and now he's low. What's also good about Travis is he's had that experience in Pinell County. Pinell County has had a road boom from going from a small county to 350,000 people. And he was part of that planning department there, so which is part of what Public Works does, working with planning, development, all that good stuff. So lots of good experience, plus he knows the region because of his involved in so many local projects. So just wanted to introduce Travis. Travis, want to say something?
Well, it's a pleasure finally meeting all of you. I know about half of you over the years, but it's good to see the others I have not met. Jesse, I met you, and Councilmember Rios, and I know Mel Stapleton. Good restaurant there. I love being here. So I'm happy to be aboard here. It's exciting, and
I see a lot of stuff that's going on in the city that I didn't have any clue as well working with CAG. So it's kind of
nice to see that from a local jurisdictional standpoint how things operate. So I'm just glad to be part of the team and try to get things moving.
Next we have item B, employee recognition of 15 years of service, February 24th, 2009, for Kendall Borman.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Invite Captain McCormick to join. It's my opportunity tonight to take a moment to recognize Kendall for the years of service that he has dedicated to the community. For those of you that know Kendall, you know there's not a shortage of material that could be discussed up here. Most of that probably appropriate for some other location. but the service that Kendall's given to the community, and not only that, but the dedication he has to the roots that he has here, growing up here,
the things that
him and his family have done in terms of development within the community and their involvement is extremely commendable. I had the opportunity back years ago, along with Chief Romero's, to put Kendall through his initial training. So not only did he
he come to work here, he started his training. And even then, it showed a high level of motivation and a high level of wanting to motivate others as well. As soon as Kendall came to work for us, he was assigned to sea ship, which at the time I was a captain of. I can remember one of the first things I remember about Kendall is we had a training session in here with a lot of the city employees, and there was some presentation on how to safely operate a piece of equipment. About halfway through the presentation, Captain Cormac chimed in and told the instructor that they were wrong. Proceeded to have a discussion as to why they were wrong. The whole time, Mayor Merrills was looking at me angrily, telling me to be quiet. Kendall, he is, I think that's just a good example of the level of dedication that Kendall has to what he does. He wants to be the best at everything he does, whether that's in terms of physical fitness, whether that's in terms of the crew that he currently leads, training within the department. He wants to be involved in that. Wants to see that the department is successful. That the department is recognized for the efforts that they put in. Another thing about Kendall is you always know when Kendall's around. You usually can't hear anything else over it. I can't count the number of times that I've either heard or had people tell me that they were on a call when a patient would tell them, "Hey, you don't have to yell at me, I can hear you." Which Kendall's just talking in his normal voice. But he does hold himself to a high standard. And he's continued to hold himself to a high standard throughout his career. He continues to work to do that throughout the department. He is motivated in what he does, dedicated to the community. It's been a pleasure to serve with him most of the time. There are those occasional moments, but I've grown in having the opportunity to work with Kendall, to learn, to glean some of those things that he seems to have a never-ending database of knowledge on. And I've appreciated all the hard work that he's put in, and this award for 15 years of service is well deserved, and look forward to having to continue to serve the community. And with that, I'll give Kendall a little bit of time.
I don't have really. That's what
you guys appreciate
the dedication you have to the department. That's it. Thank you, everybody here.
A little bit about Kendall. I was not only part of his hiring and training, but I also coached with his dad when this young group of kids were very young, and they were excellent athletes, all of them.
Thank you guys.
Item C is employee recognition of 10 years of service, February 3, 2014 for Leanna McGill. Linda.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. It's my pleasure to be able to present Leanna with her 15-year service award. She'll be here for 15 years, I promise. For 10 years. So I wrote it. Sorry about that. So Leanna was born and raised in Blow and has been a dedicated employee of the city since 2014. She definitely isn't one to boast about her accomplishments, so that's what we're here tonight for. And so if you've ever had a tour of Besh by Leanna, you would see that she has a wealth of knowledge of the facility, of the history, of how it was founded, how it became what it is today. And she willingly shares that with the visitors as they experience the site and the museum for the first, second, or even the 50th time. When asked about her favorite aspect of working at BESH, she speaks of the joy in meeting and engaging with travelers from every corner of the globe. Although most do seem to come from Canada. And one year we did go to the Great Canadian Picnic, which was a lot of fun. Her love of community absolutely shows in her daily contributions and dedication to not only BESH, but to the city of Globe. As her desire to contribute to success is evident in her everyday interactions with both her staff, her co-workers, community members, and the visitors that we have come to the site. How many visitors per year?
On average, about 12,000.
She often directs visitors to shop and eat in our historic downtown district, visit Round Mountain, or try by to eat at one of our amazing local restaurants. In fact, she was one to officially curate the very first list of which restaurant is open on which day. Very important question. Her interest in preserving and sharing the wonders of this historical site have left an indelible mark on all who crossed her path. One recent financial mark stands out. She has been instrumental in securing over $230,000 in grant funding for the Pueblo Restoration Project. And this accomplishment not only speaks volumes of Leanna's dedication, but it also underscores her profound impact on preserving our rich cultural heritage for generations to come. And looking to the future, Leanna's vision, I'm thinking 15 years, it sounds good, is to continue nurturing BESH Ogawa, ensuring its continued growth and success. So let's not forget the countless accolades and praises that our beloved BESH Ogawa has garnered under her stewardship. She makes sure that the grounds are meticulously maintained and works side by side, of course, with our Public Works Department to do that. Scotty's pretty much your right hand in that. And of course, any day you walk into the captivating museum, it is absolutely pristine. And you can tell that she loves what she does. Our historic site stands as a beacon of excellence, thanks in no small part to Leanna's unwavering dedication and commitment to excellence. So as we celebrate Leanna's remarkable journey with the city, let us also celebrate the essence of her dedication, her passion, and the community spirit that she embodies. And I didn't even mention the Festival of Lights, which she's really just made. It's just grown into such an amazing event that Mariano, you've been our MC, our co-host for the past couple of years. We did have to cancel 2 years ago due to snow, rain.
Oh yeah, the snow and rain.
And so this coming year will mark its 50th?
No, 36.
30, yeah.
I'm like way ahead of myself, you know.
So Leanna, your impact resonates far beyond the Pueblo walls and touches the lives of all who have the pleasure of crossing your path. So here's to many more years of success. I'm just planting the seed for that, so she doesn't leave. And growth and shared memories. So congratulations on this well-deserved honor. You're welcome.
So here's to 10 years, thank you. Definitely make it 15. I look forward to more than that, for sure. I love what I do, I love the site, I love the staff I work with, I love the city staff. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wait, Shelly's gonna get a picture here.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Item
Item
3D,
3D,
3D, update to council on the Upper Canal Creek Bridge project by project manager Jay Moore with Meridian Construction and lead project design engineer Matt Truitt with EPS Group.
So, Mr. Mayor, members of council, we're gonna have we should have a slide presentation that we're gonna pop up here, very short. And let's see. And I think, and did, yeah. Did they get copies of? Okay. All right. There we go. Matt, go ahead.
Council, we appreciate the opportunity to come before you guys and give a brief update today on the progress of the construction effort of the Canal Creek Bridge. I'll start off with the first slide.
Who's running the slides?
If we make sure you talk into the mic so they can hear online.
Yeah, there's outside voice.
So just as a brief,
What's,
we figured out the feedback.
oh, you did? You think?
Okay.
Okay.
Now we
Okay, good.
So just as a recap, the first slide that we have here is the original design concept for the Upper Canal Creek Bridge and corresponding roadway improvements. This still stands today, but it's barely reflective of where we ended up. So what we'd like to just visit about tonight is where we are with the construction schedule, what are the next steps, and then we'll talk just a tiny bit about some of the features of the bridge with respect to the old country. So I'll turn it over to Shay.
Mr. Mayor and Council, and hello to everyone from City Council. Just to give a quick update on what we have going on the construction side of the project, and also thanks for visiting the job site today to all the council members and mayors. We really appreciate you coming out there and taking a look at the things the way we see it. So we had a groundbreaking shovel ceremony for this project on January 2023. I'm just giving a breakdown on all the days we had so far, which were major. We have had about 37 to 40 weather days due to the quick flowing or due to a bad weather we had on the job site, which affected more than 50% of our ongoing construction activities. And then we had some quality control issues ongoing with drill shaft foundations on the project. So that was performed by our subcontractors, Michael's Foundation. And just to give a brief on that, we had some voids on a couple of the drill shafts we had installed on the job site. So we had to get a remediation form out here from California. They spent some time remediating those drill shafts to make sure all those voids are filled. And it's a complicated process at the same time, getting that remediated. But we were able to achieve that without standards, and we had to make sure everyone is on the same page after the remediation was complete. So that took about 4 months of time. Then we also had some concurrent delays with supply chain from the railroad side. So we have these precast railroad foundations which go on the north side on the east side of apartment 1. And that acts as a foundation for the signals they are going to install later once we get the bridge foundation done. So those were initially supposed to be delivered around 15th of December, but due to supply chain issues from the railroad side, those were pushed out by 4 months. But we got it installed, I believe, a couple weeks ago on the job site. Then we also have one more small delay with the deck redesign.
we did make some modifications to the deck elevations from the previous ones, which we had on file. So the current elevation is 3 inches higher than the previous design elevation for the decks we had in some areas. So we have about 6 weeks timeline for getting the right design, getting right material up there, remodifying deck, and making sure we are checking if the survey at the same time before installing the required building code. And then tentatively, with all these delays, we are still looking to open the bridge for traffic around June of 2024.
What date of yours?
June, yes. And then we will have some minor work ongoing even after that. But at this point, our priority is to get the traffic on the bridge. But there are some components from railroad side which will be inspected by ACC, and they need to be good with the signals as well. So that's why I mentioned tentative open the traffic. Even if we get our part done, there might be a delay on the railroad side in that aspect. So just to go over the next slide, so I have attached our schedule update for the project for all the activities we have ongoing. So first sheet is pretty much all the general conditions and submittal procurement items. Moving on, as I mentioned earlier, currently we already have. So after we got the drill shaft, we figured out after we got that delineated, we were able to get the abutment pier gaps formed up for pretty quick, and then we also got the abutment pier walls formed and poured as well at the same time. Then currently after that, we were able to install our force work to put at the bottom of the deck and rebar on top of the deck. So that part is complete. Right now, whatever we have formed up on the side is bottom of the deck elevation. We still need to modify it, but we just use a new design. But that's on the top of the deck elevation. And we are looking to get that deck poured by 3rd or 4th week of April. So with everything else we have changed over there. So once that part, once we get the deck poured, we are going to jump on getting the sleepers and approaches poured on each side, on both sides, on the side as well as on the railroad side. So that will enable us to jump on the paving, grading, getting all the minor concrete like sidewalk or poured within that area, so that we can focus on getting traffic on the bridge. And then we have some ancillary activities like I mentioned, like irrigation, installing irrigation line, getting the landscape in there. And also we have to demo the old bridge, which will simultaneously tackle once we get closer to the bridge completion. So that's pretty much what I got on the schedule side. I can go ahead and discuss the design features of the new conduit bridge we got compared to the old bridge we have.
So Zaski talked just a little bit about how the new bridge compared to the old. We're just going to focus on some functional elements. So one of the things that is an enhancement to the old bridge is the old bridge had staggered columns as a foundation for the bridge, and they were not aligned with the flow. So in the direction of flow, all those little piers kind of acted like the teeth of a comb and were more of an obstruction to the water getting through. So one of the advantages of the new bridge is the abutment walls as well as the middle pier are aligned with the flow direction so that the water can pass through more efficiently than it does in the current condition. So that transitions into in the middle of the bridge. When we talk about what's in the way of the flow path, we have one single pier wall that is aligned in the direction of flow. So as far as items in the creek that can codify things, it just has to get through one of the two larger cells or spans of the bridge itself. Compared to the existing bridge, like I said, it has offset columns in the flow path. So it's a lot smaller gap for debris to happen out. So we considered that to be an advantage. Another thing that the new bridge has compared to the older bridge is it has a little bit wider footprint on the top. So there'll be more room for vehicles to drive across the bridge. It also has a wider sidewalk as well. Because of how the roadways are on this thing, we're going through at a narrower gap between Broad Street and Jesse Hayes Road. So we had to incorporate onto the deck of that bridge a little bit of extra width for the turning lanes, left turn lanes, going off it and also coming this way. So that's one of the other features is the bridge deck itself will be wider to accommodate those turn movements. And I mentioned up here efficient design. So when I say that, I'm talking more about the flow. One of the challenges that we had with this bridge is just where it sits in Pinal Creek. Pinal Creek has a designated floodway and floodplain. And in a 100-year event, the water that's modeled to go through here far exceeds the height of the existing roads. It will flood over onto Broad Street and beyond, and Jesse Hayes Road and beyond. So we're effectively designing a bridge whose tie-in points are underwater. So one of the things that we had to do is figure out how to get that in place, and because it's a floodway, get it in place so that when that large event hit,
it didn't cause the water to go up high. So we had to make sure that water flowed through there. And very efficiently. I'm going to kind of jump ahead to the next bullet point to go back to the efficiency topic. So we had certain elevations that we had to hit. The railroad tracks, they can't go up and down. So the north end of the bridge has to begin at the railroad tracks. On the south side, we had Jesse Hayes Road with all of the neighboring residences. So there as well, we had to land at that elevation. So with the efficient design, we tried to make sure that because we had to go essentially a path through this floodplain, this floodway, we minimized the profile. So we made that deck as thin as we could make it. And we had that one single pier. And because we couldn't elevate it up above that water surface, because again, both start and end point are below water. We modified the width of the Pinal Creek. So if we couldn't go higher, we made it wider. So we opened that channel up to allow more water to flow through what was previously kind of a narrow drop. We opened it up a little bit wider, gave it more room to flow. So that's kind of how we balanced the flow mechanics. So those are the big mechanical differences, I would say, between the proposed bridge versus the existing bridge. And then I'll just jump on forward. So we have, after that, if Mayor or the council, if you have any other questions you'd like to ask us, we're happy to answer.
Questions from council or comments?
Mr. Mayor. I'd just like to say, I thank you gentlemen for the presentation you provided us hands-on this afternoon. You were very accommodating to all our questions and concerns. And, it changed the whole outlook on that bridge project for the council members there. Those aren't there to ask questions. I know I pretty much answered most of the questions I had concerning the bridge.
And I would say it's hard to envision what it'll look like at this stage when it's a skeleton on the corner. But when it's done, I think you guys will be pleased.
And Mr. Mayor, members of council, just to the audience watching at home or on YouTube, we're having some feedback and echoing problems that we're we're trying to get worked out, but we do have new mics on the way, but they won't be here by tonight. So please bear with us.
On the inspection today, I was impressed with the volume of each side of that bridge. All the birds out. Now that kind of width, you have a potential for high flows.
The
The bridge is at the right angle, literally at the right angle to the stream. Its purpose will be to allow as much water to go through in any flow event. And yes, people see a pile of dirt on both sides of the word. Those aren't going to remain. This is part of the construction process. But I see the fix that you're trying to get to. And that's to allow the water to flow uninhibited as much as possible. Having a single pier in the center does that for you. Yes, we will have a big lock of jump down there now. Get that. The point is, for most of the time, most flow events, you will have an efficient system going underneath that bridge. And I ask for the public's patience as they finish out and do the final channeling, the gabion baskets that you have to put into force. And I'm very satisfied with hearing about that at the very beginning of this project. A reinforced bank allows for that water to flow through as much as possible. It's a different animal compared to the old bridge. And the engineering is there. I've got one other question, and that is, the bridge is too low. It depends where you're standing. And I got to stand in the creek today. And with my background in emergency management, I'm satisfied that that flow will be channeled properly. And then after you do your final pour, you will see the height basically come up a bit, because that's the final design on the pour. I get what I want to do. The other thing I like is the efficiency of going from Hill Street all the way down that little hill, and have a straight shot across the street. That travel moment, it's almost too efficient, because you'll end up right at the other edge of that bridge and make the decision to go to Connersville or left turn. And I don't think the public realizes that how efficient we be from now on to go from Hill Street at the intersection all the way down the street. I get it now that I can see that shot coming right down the bridge. So you've cleaned up some stuff from traffic patterns that we're seeing right now with no bridge. So I think it's well designed. Once you have all the dirt removed from the sand and protected to make it a very efficient flow into the future. And I will say the one event that could make this prove your point is a 100-year flood. It will flow, it will rise, and it will inundate. And we know that because we have FEMA units to look at. And it will be a different kind of flow. And probably will return to its banks faster than that particular point of the creek. And that I'm grateful for, because that means we can return back to normalcy or normal operations. And that I appreciate. And I've seen that in my career. I appreciate the design of this one. And I think it will enhance the traffic patterns at that intersection. So it's going to be a different flow pattern. It will take a while for the public to get used to it, but I hope, I sincerely hope that you appreciate the flow if you're coming out of Hill Street. Simple as that. So I thank you for solving all the nuances of that particular group. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Ready? Thank you, Greg. So I'm involved in another mediation project here in town, the Russell Gulch project. And some of the plans that I have reviewed, there's a changing of the scour depth. I'm not saying that's going to happen here, but if it were to happen here, say that somebody comes in from some organization or agency comes and says, okay, we're going to mediate this wash, and we're going to change the scour depth. Does this bridge account for that if it did happen?
So I would say Yeah, so one of the design features that we put in that won't be seen. So we're fairly conservative in our scour depth calculations because this is at the convergence of McMillan Wash and Pinal Creek. So we erred with a little bit higher factor of safety. But what we did was, you'll see all these gabion walls. They're gonna go in there. They're gonna make this channel that look like this, like that. And it gets buried underwater, under the dirt even. But below those gabion walls, we are having them construct a gabion mattress, which is a very thin, well I say thin, it's a foot thick, but it extends out into the channel. So that'll look weird, maybe a little bit when you put it in, but by design, what it's supposed to do is when a heavy flow comes in and it pushes that scour depth down, that 1 foot thick mattress kind of swings down and pivots. And so it creates that extra protection as needed. When the wash goes down, that mattress falls into that hole and lines it even deeper. So the mattress that we have now, you'll see them when they're putting it in. You've got the wall, and it goes out like 18 feet plus. And what that's intended to do is be kind of like that swing door, and it'll go down and protect that extra depth if it ever does happen. And it will. But that's the kind of thing where if it does its job, you'll never see it. But it's there. That's why.
And obviously the pillar is going to be safety guarded, right?
So, scour protection aside, those pillars go down. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like it washes out. The bridge will be there, the piers will be there. That'll be standing there. Yeah, it's not, it shouldn't be.
Yeah, I'd like to thank you for that tour this afternoon. I think it was a whole different perception when you're there on the site and you're explaining all the different aspects to it and the construction parts of it. You know, people can drive by and have a perception of something else, you know, or make comments about it without really truly knowing what's going on underneath. You know, you can't control all the things that have delayed the project, you know, in the process. But you know, we don't want to rush the project either and not do it right. So we have faith in what you guys are doing and making sure we got a quality bridge. And you can look at the posters up here, what it'll look like in the end. It'll be an amazing bridge that'll be an addition to our city, and just the traffic flow and the look of the bridge will really make that area look a lot better. So thank you. Fernando?
So I just want to make a comment, because I got to visit today and ask all the questions, and they did a really good job explaining what they're doing, why they're doing it, and how they're doing it. But I think the thing that impressed me the most is how well they worked with each other, because there was a couple of things that they were kind of trying to work out right then and there. And they worked with our city engineer, they worked with the design engineer, and the construction, and they actually kind of worked out a solution right there with each other. And I just think it's neat to see that you have that cooperation. You just don't make it the other guy's problem, not your problem. So thank you for that.
I echo the appreciation of it.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, just one,
two follow-ups, just so everybody listening at home, if you can hear it, the pilings go 40 feet below the bed of the creek. Okay, so that's how deep those are, so those aren't going anywhere. They have that one cleaver of a support in the middle that's going to slice through all the debris. And then the other question I had, Matt, was that we had the conversation about making sure that from the beginning you designed this bridge so that a lowboy could fully loaded the heavy equipment that we know travels that area is going to make it through this bridge over and not a problem.
So even in that graphic right there.
You can step up to the mic, please.
The graphic right there at the beginning, one of the things that we do is we ran vehicle turning templates to make sure it could navigate it horizontally. And then the other thing we did is we measured the wheelbase of a lowboy as well as the clearance, and then we just kind of had that vehicle traverse the high point, which is going over the tracks, to make sure that we had adequate clearance, both of those passed. So as long as they're not breaking any land speed records or doing future hazards, we should be okay.
And Mr. Mayor, Council, and just to follow up a little bit with Councilman Shipley's comments, the railroad is our partners in this too. We're working very closely with them. This is within 25 foot of the right of way, so we have to. They're involved. They have safety concerns. They have construction concerns, and so we're communicating with them also. So just so when we leave the Arizona Eastern now.
Shay, thank you again. And thank you, staff, for providing that updated information, not only for us, but for the community also that has the questions.
Thank you.
Next, we have consent calendar. Matters listed on the consent calendar are considered to be enacted by one motion, one vote. Public hearing items are designated or mastered prior to discussion. Consideration of the consent agenda. The mayor will ask whether any member of the public wishes to remove a public hearing item for separate consideration. Members of the council or staff may also remove any item for separate consideration. Item 4A, consideration of waiver of section 2-4-10A, prior discussion rule to allow action on the balance of the consent agenda. 1. Accounts payable, $331,431.63. 2. Consideration of approval of council minutes. A. March 14, 2024 meeting minutes. And B. Consideration of agreements and purchases less than $25,000. Does anybody from the public, staff, or council wish to remove any of these items for separate consideration?
Mr. Mayor, staff would like to pull item 4B, the agreements under 25,000. We would like to stipulate corrections to the accounting codes that were listed on the agenda.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I would make a motion to approve the consent agenda items presented, except for item 4B, which has been proposed by staff to stipulate a correction to the accounting codes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for approval of the consent calendar minus 4B. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those nay, any abstaining, motion passed. Shelley,
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, Council, thank you so much. I'd like to bring your attention to the contract with Kino Floors for repairs, tile repair to the pool bathhouse. I think, the agenda indicated that we were going to code that to the Public Works contractual services, and we do have a line item for pool contractual services. So we'd like for council to, when they make a motion, to refer to account number 10-67, which is the pool -51234.
Mayor, I would move to approve contract CS-2024-0070
Kino
Kino
Floors
Floors Interior for $9,360 for bathhouse repair,
and to stipulate that we funded the account number 10-67-51234
pool contractual services.
Second.
Motion and second for approval of item 4B with modifications. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Any abstaining? Motion passed. Thank you.
We have one more contract that we'd like to bring your attention to, and that's the contract with JJ Electrical Contracting. This is a contract to upgrade the electrical work at the Besh Figala Gardens. And on the agenda, we've indicated that that would be from account number 1051-51234. This is a typo. This is actually coming from Public Works. So in your motion, if we could ask you to please stipulate that that account number would be 10-61, which is Public Works -51234 contractual services.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to
go ahead and make a motion to approve contract CS 2002-067 with JJ Electrical. Contracting LLC for 21-688-24 for botanical garden upgrade with stipulation to be funded from the account number 10-61-51234 Public Works Contractual Services.
Second.
Motion second for item 4B, secondary. As presented. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed nay. Abstaining.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. We
We have no new business.
We have
Action item 6A.
Council will discuss and possibly approve a request by staff to distribute 2023-24 bed tax fund to 5 bed tax organizations based on a 5-way split using the 2018-2019 requirements for bed tax organizations letter requirements, with the only modification being the adoption of Section D and Section E of the 2024 City of Code Bed Tax Request Process Changes memo dated January 23rd, 2024, and the acknowledgement and approval may require future transfer of up to $39,626.98 of general fund contingency funds to the community organization expenditures account number 10-515-5190, 51910, 51915,
Mr. Mayor, members of council, given that we are going through a process of meetings with the bed tax organizations, and while we had a very successful initial meeting, I think a second meeting is planned. The city does not want to hold up the bed tax funds, and so I would like to propose to council that we revert or hold with the distribution plan of the 5 agencies, the same splits we did last year, the 5 agencies we did last year, with the 100% of the funds as collected. And all of that is outlined in the 2018-2019 memo. And just for note, that memo is dated 2018-2019, but we've been using that since then. It doesn't have anything in it that says it expires after that. It's not clear that it keeps on going, but it definitely doesn't say it stops. So those have been the policies and the process we've been using for that, with the exception of item that would be D and E off the 2024 memo. And what that would do is break it from 4 distributions to 2 distributions combined, and it's not we're halving things. It's instead of first and second distribution, we combine those into the spring, and then we would have the winter, and then the spring distribution. With passage, if council decides to accept this, then we will put a call out for requests for funds to be distributed based on the old standard, which is in that 2018-2019 memo. The second, and they would get 6 months worth of distributions. Then, before June 30th, in the May time period, they can ask for the second distribution. That one will be calculated because we won't have all the numbers in, we won't have all the amount of bed tax collected yet. So we'll do a running total based on the historical past on that, and give that money out in that form. Those are the 2 policies that council is looking at in that 2024 modification memo. We took those 2; those I think are important. The 2 distributions rather than 4, the way we calculate the distribution, and the hard deadline of a June 30th request, so that we don't get in further. It helps the auditors to have that, and so those would be the only changes to the 2018-2019 memo. And so questions?
So the last time I was involved in the discussion, we were going to equalize the funding for the museum. The museum gets 15%.
No, this would be the same split, the 15, 20, 20, 22, 22, as we did last year. Yeah. I mean, this is what I'm proposing.
Because if we don't have funds, then they won't have any funds going further. So we need to distribute this while we figure out how to
I battled to get them an equal distribution, and I know the council didn't understand why it was an equal distribution. And so then when the city proposed to add itself as 6, I thought that was the dilemma, not whether or not equalized. So my thinking is tonight we're going to approve just having 5 entities collect the tax, but then it was going to be equalized. Because the museum gets a lower percentage of the share, and they need the money as well. And so they were, I thought I'd gone to battle, I thought I won that battle, and so here I am, maybe having to vote on not winning that battle.
And Mr. Mayor, members of council, you can, in this format, you can talk about things that were discussed. So.
So Fernando, yes, you're correct in what you battled for. I think what we have found in our first conversations with, our initial conversations with the bed tax committee was that we would pay them out now based on a lack or a delay in previous installments. But we are definitely scheduled to meet with them again for further discussions about the, I don't know call it the ending, but a newer version of the bed tax distributions. And I think your voice is definitely mentioned about that in those conversations. So this, if I'm right, please help me if I'm wrong, but my understanding was after the first 7 weeks that we had, they were delayed in getting paid from almost a year ago.
Yes. Yeah, they have not received anything since.
From that, and then now we're going to start moving forward with previous
So that would be for the upcoming budget in June?
No, this would be for the split for the 23-24 distribution, which none have been made yet. And so in 22-23, it was the mixed split. We're going to, I fully believe that council is going to resolve all aspects of the bed tax questions in time so we can do the 24-25 distributions. I will tell you that my recollection of that meeting is while there was no direct discussion about the pros and cons of the split, I think an equal split is something that was not the hot topic, but it wasn't discussed as one of these modifications that we'd like to see going forward. I think the goal was to just kind of let's just punt it for a year, except with the technical requirements to make this work, but and let that be decided by the group. Council can do what they want, but my only hesitancy is we did not have that discussion in that, and I think it would be a surprise tonight to the bed tax organizations if that was modified at this point. But it's council's call, and there are members of the bed tax in the audience also too.
The bed tax organizations that are here just to speak to that point and see where we're at.
Well, can I make a comment also before we do that? Yeah, and to your point, Fernando, yeah, we did not, like Paul said, we did not raise to that level. I think this was an initial meeting that really opened some dialogue, was able to air some opinions, you know, and suggestions on how we move forward, but something to build on. What it was, we just really aired our displeasure of the process. And really, it wasn't a discussion about the split. It was discussion because it wasn't transparent.
We have a 2018 agreement that we're all going by, and what we want to do is build from there, build that future, and update that. And yeah, definitely, your consideration of equal distribution should be a topic for future people. We didn't set a deadline that this has to be done, even in this fiscal year, but it opened up dialogue for us to move forward, working together on how we help each other make things better. But I don't, it wasn't a discussion about equal distribution, so, but I don't know if that's something that could be discussed in public with council.
Well,
Go ahead, Mike.
So we're gonna stick with the distribution that they're currently under right now,
Mhm.
so we understand.
Yep.
Fernando wants to see the discussion carried on to where we equal the distribution between organizations, okay, which is, I can agree with that too. But if we distribute the money to them this year or this past year, are they gonna give us some kind of accounting?
It will be the same requirements where they have to have board action to adopt the financials and a little description and a presentation. So it's the same thing that we've seen in May of 2023, where they came, made a presentation, put things in the packet, which was a financial accounting and I think a narrative in there. So it will still have the same distribution requirements that they've had in the past. And
that distribution report that they made, that covers us with the state when it comes to taxes and all that type of stuff, doesn't it?
The distribution reports are primarily to make sure that council, in doing their fiduciary responsibility, feels comfortable that the money is being spent properly and supportive of the goals. And so
we do report to the state the amount of money that the tax we get.
no, we do not have to follow up with the state on this. No, this is money that the city of Globe collects as a body. We have the power to levy a bed tax, a tax on lodging, and we added 3% to the lodging in the city of Globe. We also, as part of that law, we have the option of using that money or distributing it to nonprofits for them to use it for tourism. And that is the only requirement. As long as we're meeting that requirement, we are good to go. And that is what we've been doing for the 20 years. And that is what we look for in that financial report, the minutes, and the narrative, that the money is being used in the proper way. And I will tell you, among all the things we've talked about, I don't think we've had much discussion that anything is improper. I think the biggest issue is the distribution and who are the recipients. Mayor, go ahead.
Yeah, it's a little awkward because we've got a board group will be addressing a lot of these things as we move forward, I think, for future discussion and as a whole council. But yeah, this was just initial meetings. I think at the end it was a good meeting where we know what direction we're going. We have a meeting set up with the same group. So yeah, I guess patience is give us time to be able to talk to all of what the tax organizations. We work together. So I don't know how else to say that. We didn't get to that level yet.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, Councilman Shipley, I will tell you that I do believe there were 2 members of the Historical Society in that meeting. I think they heard what everybody else heard was a multiple requests that we get the distributions out so no one's high, that everybody can get their money and get rolling with that. And there was no discussion about changing that. I think the point was I think everybody believed, and I acted on the belief that we wanted to keep things as close to what we've done historically, except for the problem of doing these distributions late, splitting it to 2, and then the auditing problem. So I tried to change as little as possible, and I think that was the understanding of everybody in that room, and that included the members of the Historical Society.
And this is an agenda item, so if you have members of any tax organization that want to speak, or any comments, that's fine. If you could.
I can make a comment.
Okay.
But you go up to the mic, but don't touch it.
I'm Tom Thompson. I was at the meeting, and I really felt that we had already
made the decision to everyone having equal stock. In fact, it was discussed, and nothing else was said about it, but we all come and looked at it as the fairness to each one of the tax groups, but in particular with the people that are at the museum, they really need to be at 20% on this. We felt very strongly about that. Never thought differently. It was never an argument among the four groups that were there.
Good to hear.
So tomorrow, we have no problem with that. Once again, this is
So anyone else from the bed tax?
Mayor,
Go ahead, Maya.
let her go first. I'll wait.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council, thank you. I wasn't prepared to speak today, but I will just say that from the perspective of the Chamber of Commerce, we weren't concerned so much with the equal split as we were the potential of a sixth recipient, and also the fact that we had not been paid for July through December of 2023 yet. So putting a halt for all of us was, that was for us what we came together what we thought was the best solution for, at least for the 4 organizations that discussed it, because we thought if the conversation goes any further from just that, it's going to get more complicated with the being in the current budget the way it is now. So we just wanted to keep it the way it is. Let's keep talking, and hopefully by next year's budget, then we'll have a better solution than what is happening in the current budget.
You forgot to state your name.
My name is Stacy Herrera Murray with the Chamber of Commerce. Sorry.
Thank you. That's great. Stacey, both of you mentioned there was only 4, but there's 5 recipients.
Right, and it was only because the EDC hadn't had a chance to have that discussion with us ahead of time.
Okay.
Yeah. But I will say during the meeting, though, it sounds to me like the EDC would agree. They agreed with it from what my perspective, but I didn't have the chance to have a conversation with them after.
Okay, thank you.
Mariana?
I'm going to monitor the committee's report out. I'm going to wait to say a lot of things until we get a final report out. I do want to compliment our city staff. After coming back from Washington, I think our staff is as good as any other in the nation. They're thorough, they're diligent, and under a lot of pressure, they do a lot of hard work. The reason I say these things is because right now, right here, this city is in a state of change. And we need this information from all of our entities to make good decisions for the future. We have to elevate our game, is what I'm trying to say. And I hope you are having a really good dialogue in that meeting or series of meetings with the eye towards the future. We just walked over the bridge today, which is a physical, actually a reward for what we're doing up here on the days. We see that future, we addressed it today, we know what that bridge is going to come out to be. That's no different than any other subject we have to touch up here. We're trying to design this city for the future, And sometimes we have to be pragmatic. We have to be willing to change. And that's the only thing I can say right now. I'm eagerly waiting to report out on this one. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Well, Paul, I have a question, Danica. Then, since it wasn't discussed, but and they're in agreement with it, we're still going with the old method of paying five organizations. Do we have the authority to vote as a body to make an equal split for 23-24?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, your council, you have control to modify this in any way you want. I think the question on the table is you have nobody, you have nobody from, we have members of Chamber and downtown. We have 2 of the 5 groups represented here right now that were in the meeting. You have 3 that aren't, but there was a lot of talk about transparency and surprises and doing things without notification, but you have that power to do what.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, but you have that ability to do that, but I think we're in a catch-22. Whatever you do tonight, right now, people will be unhappy. So.
Well, I don't think we're gonna, we have a work group that's working with the bed tax organizations now, and we're building that relationship, and it's gonna take some time, but the only decision is, do we have the ability, if these organizations are fine with it, that we split it 5 ways equally. But at this point, and then move on with our dialogue with the.
But Mr. Mayor, members of council, to the mayor, you will be taking 2 organizations and cutting their distribution by this. And I remind the mayor, one of the key comments was, we haven't done anything yet. We were gonna modify the money at the end of the conclusion. And so I think I hesitate to, I just warn you that if you lower the distribution of 2 groups right now without that being crystal clear, it's, there's a.
That was a big issue.
Yeah.
Transparency and doing things
Yeah.
without everybody involved.
That's all I was going to reiterate. I think that we've made this commitment to be transparent and work with them, and I think in doing that, this is a good faith effort. I mean, let's distribute the funds, keep them going, and then continue that dialogue, and not make any rash decisions or any decisions at this point of any changes until that dialogue has been met. And we continue. I think until we do that, it would be rash of us to change anything at this point.
Thank you, Councilman Leeson. I also agree with that, with your comments. I think the first meeting was, there was a lot of conversation about perceptions, feelings, and things that got brought up that were built from years past. And I thought we made a good headway in getting through those concerns from the bed tax groups and the members of the council that were there. I think it took a while to get through all that, and we were open enough to listen and understand their positions. And, in some cases, the city also, as a council, we demonstrated some of the positions that we're bound to and have to hold to. But I think to make a decision right now about, and I applaud the bed tax groups that have spoken tonight about their willingness to move forward with equal distribution. I really appreciate that, because I think in the future meeting that we have, we're going to seal that, I think, with all the groups, and we'll get complete buy-in. And I think at that point, we can bring it to the public and say, this is a joint effort. This is an agreed-upon effort. I think if we do that right now, there may be some disgruntled members that aren't here, and really
it might change the whole perception, the whole outcome of what we're trying to accomplish here today and moving forward. So I would request that we hold our next meeting and hope for an announcement that will satisfy Councilman Fernando Shipley's request and some others. So.
I agree with you.
So, Mr. Mayor, members of council, what I would like to do is literally read the percentage distribution. Let's see if I can find it in here. Make sure that we know what we're voting on, and I can do it from memory though. Okay. So it's gonna. So it will be the 223s, the 23%. 22.5 is chamber and EDC. Okay, so the chamber with this motion, the chamber will represent 22.5%, EDC 22.5%, Downtown Association 20%, Center for the Arts 20%, and Historical 15%. And then those will be the 5 groups, and the sum of the money that is collected will be distributed based on the formula that is in the modified 24 memo.
Okay, so a question regarding having to move money. Is that because we didn't budget enough to distribute the funds that came through the bed tax?
No, because what we're doing, and the reason we put on there is to have council acknowledge that we had split it to a 16.6% split through the 6 organizations, and so that 39,000 represents the worst case scenario of the money that we will now not be putting towards economic development. And so if we fully spend out that line item, which I expect we will come back with when we finish off the budget and have to make a transfer from contingency fund, general fund, contingency fund to backfill the money that we're now taking out of the economic development services budget. Okay. Because we are upping what we did, and this can all be handled by Tina, but because it's changing from one department to another department, and because we're pulling from fund balance, it has to have council approval. I don't know what those numbers are yet, but I wanted to make sure that you knew the weight of your decision tonight was a $39,000, possibly up to withdrawal from fund balance.
So, this bed tax discussion is going to get dealt with, and because it's only fair that the museum does a lot. They have some tremendous volunteers. They work their butts off, and I don't think it's fair that they don't get an equal distribution. And so, I'll support this as long as I know that we're trying to get this done for 24-25.
I think that's where they're all at.
Okay, so it's not gonna get like drug out?
No.
Okay.
No, we're gonna continue these meetings till we have an understanding of what direction we want to go in the future together. You bet. And yes, I do support equal distribution to the museum.
Mr. Mayor, you have something you want to speak?
Since this has come up a couple of times, I'd like to point. Linda Gross, many times.
Since I followed this since the beginning, I want to really commend and thank the city for sitting down with the bed tax organizations and listening to them, because I did get a feel after they left that they felt that they didn't hurt and listen to. And I think the thing that Fernando, you talk about that indicates an issue that should be looked at is that this is a collective decision from bed tax organizations that have been on the front line before the city had any money, before there was any other tourism efforts. It's these organizations that have been on the front line doing it. So they work together well. They have thoughts and insights. So I think that moving forward, it is a collective conversation between the bed tax and the city. Let them come up with what they think works well, because I don't think any of them are jockeying for position. So it might be people, but it also might be different because they recognize different interests that they have. So I think that will come in future conversations and result.
Thank you all.
Other questions or comments? I'd like to make a motion to approve a request by staff to distribute 2023-24 bed tax funds to 5 bed tax organizations based on a 5-way distribution split using the 2018-2019 requirement for bed tax organizations, with the only modifications being the adoption of Section D and Section E of the 2024 City of Globe bed tax distribution request process change memo dated January 23rd, 2024, and acknowledge approval may require a future transfer up to 39,626.98 of contingency funds, fund balance to the community organization expenditure account numbers 1051-51900, 51910, 51915, and 519520.
Second.
Motion is second for item 6B is read. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Any abstaining? Motion passed. Thank you. Item B is consideration to approve resolution 1886 uncollectible water debt in the amount of $4,313.38 for fiscal year 2023. We have Mary Jo.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, members of the council, resolution number 1886, a resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of Globe, Gila County, Arizona, providing for treatment of certain debts owed the city which have been deemed potentially uncollectible and removing same from the records as assets of the city of Globe and providing directions for further treatment of the same. Is council pleased with that reading?
Asking for approval for resolution 1886
tonight, right off the bat, and I'll just also
Thank you so much. Prior to COVID, during COVID, that was a trouble recovery. Your team and staff have done amazing. Yeah, I think it's all
But that's fine. Jody, pull your mic down and see. No. Sorry. Try turning it off.
We have a motion.
Well, you need it up a little bit just so, yeah. No, just don't aim it towards the ceiling, I think is the goal.
Sidewalk system downtown. It is pretty much said, if I'm not mistaken, we're talking about 38 blocks downtown. So it's pretty substantial. And it's gonna address the issue at different heights of the curve, sidewalks that are along, different things, some utilities. So for now, we're just gonna go into the design phase.
Yeah, that's from the half cent. Yeah, that's definitely within our ability, and we have that money, and good use of that type of half cent. Mr. Mayor, members of council, just before we go on, I'm going to try to experiment. If one at a time, if you can jiggle your mic, just do it one at a time. So just mic, okay. Go ahead and try yours. No. No, Mayor. We need you. No. No. There's. Yeah, it's not going to stop it. just check with Betty. Sorry, Councilman Gill. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, it's not you guys. You're all off the hook. It's
soon, I hope.
Very soon. It's been ordered. But just pull the plug. No, that's not it. All right, the rain. The other thing is that maybe the rain. I don't know because it was been coming and going.
Are they getting this pretty bad on Facebook?
Yeah, it's been echoey and buzzing. So. Yeah.
Okay, we've got item B, and this will be a public hearing for the alternative expenditure limitation, home rule extension on the 2024 primary ballot.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this is the second meeting for the public to make comment on the alternative expenditure limitation, which will be on the primary election ballot. So this just gives the public a chance to speak, and it's a public process. It's taken to the voters, and so this is just allowing that public comment. After the public hearing, we'll close it and we'll adjourn or convene into a special meeting, and we'll we'll present council with the resolution that authorizes staff to move forward with the extension of the alternative expenditure limitation, which we are currently operating under.
Let me check the mail real quick.
So if the home rule option fails on the ballot, the city would be operating under the expenditure limitation
check the council email, there's no emails there, and let's look at the phone and see if we have any, no text. So, and no one in the audience that wishes to speak.
I think there's a process to eliminate this in the future, voting. I think that's something that we really need to look into instead of trying to stress about this.
Yeah.
Okay, for the comments, go ahead and close the public hearing.
Almost fixed it. It's nice.
So we'll open up our regular meeting again. Item E is the city will convene for a special meeting to vote on the local expenditure limitation, home rule resolution 1887.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution number 1887, a resolution of the City of Globe proposing an extension of the alternative expenditure limitation. Is council pleased with that reading?
Yes.
Thank you. So, Mr. Mayor, I would just ask council to make a motion and vote to approve the resolution during this special meeting.
Mr. Mayor, we've had a pretty lengthy conversation, especially about this. If there's none other conversation, I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution number 1887, proposing an extension of the alternative expenditure limitation, which would be a valid option in the July 30th, 2024 primary election. Second. Motion second for approval of resolution 1887 by Susie. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Late agenda item?
Mr. Mayor, the only late agenda item we have is the e-session that we added on Monday, and that is further down the agenda.
Second call to the public, have everybody from the public.
Nope, nothing added.
Okay,
No changes at this point. The meeting we had with the bed tax organization was that quality of life meeting. The single topic was a listening discussion with the bed tax organizations. If there's anybody who was not in that meeting who had questions or wanted any feedback from the 3 members who were in the meeting, it would be you would be able to have that conversation. Shall I fix it?
Sorry.
Yeah.
It was a button for our.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Jessica.
Consideration of future agenda items?
And we have a. Yeah, no, if there's anything else that you would like to add, I don't have in front of me a list of some of the things you have pending. I know the agreement with Arizona Water is one we have pending, and that's the only one I can think of right now, but is there anything that we haven't discussed that you'd like to add?
The fund for the nonprofits that we have.
Oh, yeah, we need to get that to the. I think it would be quality of life. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, same group.
Yeah.
Well, not the same group, there's 2 of us or something.
Yeah.
So it'd be the original group.
Original, yeah.
I was out there.
Yeah. And
I think I'm seeing people on that. So I've had a couple of calls from
okay.
From one of the groups that I'm close to, asking if there's any decision that we made.
And Mr. Mayor, members of council, we also are ready to, very close and to bringing forward as part of the budget discussion on healthcare and benefits. So we can combine those two, and probably, I don't see that happening next week, but the week after.
Yeah.
Okay.
So who's on you, Greg? I'm in quality of life.
Yeah, finance, I think is, I know you're in finance, the mayor's in finance, and I don't know who the third finance person is. Yeah. So we will get that scheduled probably as soon as we can.
We have motion to go into executive session. Second, going to executive session.